older digital technologies and ID, instant dissemination, whereas during his time, the digital world was challenging the older world of curated publishing, copyright, physical objects that one had to purchase to access content. Kellough's content, much like mine today, often looked at place and identity. In the city of his day, he saw the various social, cultural, and economic positions navigated by black citizens. He also saw the way black histories were constructed as minor narratives and as narratives that ran counter to official Quebec histories. This allowed for the suppression and minimization of the contributions of black Quebecers to Quebec culture, and for an erasure of their historical presence. Let us imagine for a moment that we are in the milieu, then Montréal, of 150 years ago. In the late 1970s, the English were in decline, and the French were gradually establishing their political dominance in Quebec. The English continued to coexist, and they maintained their privilege, a telling descriptor in Kellough's time. But they had relinquished their hegemony over the future. A new city was emerging from the ground, or from the street, up, as Kellough often emphasized in his fiction. The street, meaning public space in the city, was important to him as physical and not as theoretical or virtual space. It was in the street, and not in a parliamentary bill or a panel among culturati on Radio-Canada, Endnote 4, where Montréal's identity emerged. In Kellough's early writing, the street often meant downtown, but over time its definition broadened to encompass less central urban neighborhoods and even the near suburbs. Those areas were home to immigrant populations who visibly informed the diversity of the island, but who were relegated to the off-center boroughs because housing was cheaper and cultural communities, which could provide a source of support for newcomers, were established. The central and southern parts of the island were becoming wealthy enclaves, in a phenomenon opposite that of white flight. Endnote 5, another 20th century demographic trend. Kellough noted that in the early 2020s, this movement of wealth, both domestic and international, toward the center, and the movement of people seeking affordable housing away from the center, was evidence of Montréal becoming less oriented toward any traditional hub called downtown. The various boroughs were establishing themselves as unique, affordable, self-sufficient economic and cultural hubs. This trend was hastened by two factors. The first, in 2017, was the creation of the Royal Mount Urban Megaproject. Initially a luxury development, it was locally maligned and then rejected by the municipal administration. It languished, incomplete, as partners withdrew. It was eventually subsumed by a culturally mixed urban planning committee called the Sepia Future Seers. The SFS proposed a development based on an amalgam of digital models of urban neighborhoods in New York, Montreal, Rome, Barcelona, Medellin, Rio, Berlin, and Beirut. The project would feature affordable rental units alongside properties for purchase of varying values and intricate commercial zoning to accommodate variety among businesses. Independent ethnic grocers would sit next to established cafe chains, fripperies next to upscale furniture stores, artisanal boutiques next to corporate franchises. This was jokingly labeled the cheek by jowl approach, and despite a media establishment that lambasted the idea as naive, the idea transformed the derelict megaproject into a populous city center. Its residents successfully lobbied the city for a westward expansion of the public transit system, and Royal Mount emerged as a rival to the traditional downtown core. The success of Royal Mount shifted Montreal's demographic balance in one